Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. I am Vagrant, or you can call me whatever you want. Today we're going to be looking at another Kickstarter TCG called Nostalgix. Nostalgix is supposed to be kind of a culmination of a whole bunch of different games put all into one with kind of like a Pokemon aesthetic to it. Now, just a quick overview of the Kickstarter. This is probably the most organized in terms of what they are actually telling you, what information they are giving. The person who is actually heading the project tells you a lot of information, like where all the money is going, how much is being spent, what is done so far, all those kinds of things. I would say for Grand Archive and Genesis, this is what your Kickstarter should look like. Because he gives all the information that a backer should need to know. Now, as before, we're gonna just kind of, go through the card game, go through its Kickstarter page, obviously check out its website after as well. And, I'll put down all the information in the description, if they have a Discord, all that good stuff. But let's get into it. But let me take a sip of my coffee real quick first. It's in a thermos this time, but let's go ahead and check out the intro video. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it is like a 5-minute video, but you'll see the quality and the amount of information that the project gives you versus the other two. So let's go ahead and take a look.
What's up, Kickstarter? This is Zaba, and thank you so much for checking out the Nostalgix TCG Kickstarter. This has been a passion project of myself and the artists involved for many, many years. I've been working with this team for over 5 years now, and in the past 2, we have fully created the base set and the game of Nostalgix. So what exactly is Nostalgix TCG? For us, it's a few...
You see what I mean by this is like night and day? He is presenting the card game to the audience. He is telling what this is. Grand Archive kind of had something where it was showing you what the card game was. It just didn't have anyone saying it. And then Genesis was a very, very bare bones generic video. This actually has the person telling you what Nostalgix is, his team, the art, what the game is, what his passion is. That's what your Kickstarter should look like. Let's continue.
Fusion of various card game mechanics over the years that we've enjoyed, basically our favorite elements of TCG games across all the games that exist, plus unique ones that Nostalgix brings to the table. In our playtesting, we found that players between ages 6 and 60 have no problem learning how to play the game by turn 2. That's something we really wanted to focus on, was approachability for new players. Our 185 card base set is completely ready to go. I've already put $10,000 of my own money to get the card game where it is today. We've even already shipped the game to some people in the form of sample cards. In the past 2 months, we've shipped out boxes just like this, containing merch and sample cards to over 400 players across the world. So, then why Kickstarter? Well, printing the game in mass actually costs a lot of money, and the printer we use for these sample cards can't do advanced techniques like selective holographic on our Void Rares, Lucky Frog, and even our standard holographics. To print those, we need a very powerful, very experienced printing partner, and we have that in the United States here. So to print this card game with a base set quantity of booster boxes equal to...
All right, so we're going to stop right there. You see, in a minute and a half, he tells so much more information about his game than Genesis and Grand Archive did in almost their whole Kickstarter page. Now, one thing that I, kind of got more information on as I did more coverage of these Kickstarter projects is he also has a relatively realistic Kickstarter goal here, because Grand Archive and Genesis their Kickstarter goals was like what, $10,000 to $20,000. Guys, that's nothing. Realistically, to be able to print a card game, get like your cards pressed, distribution and things like that out, It's still more than $100,000, but $100,000 is closer to realistic than $10,000 to $20,000 that the other projects were asking for. So keep that in mind. Nostalgix is probably the most practical project out of the three that we're covering here. And I mean, obviously it's met its goal. A lot of investors are just trying to see what is the next big thing here. But just keep that in mind. It's the most professional and realistic Kickstarter that we've seen thus far. And I find that pretty interesting. Just to kind of touch upon the other things he said, I like that he's trying to promote that the game is for everyone. He wants everyone from age 6 and up to be able to play it. That is pretty much any TCG. You want a mass audience to be able to play it, not just a specific audience. He's also, explained how his holographics are going to work. It looked like he said that there was going to be like reverse holographics and arts like that. So maybe they're not going to go with the unique foiling kind of thing, or bringing rare foils back, kind of like Grand Archive and Genesis is doing. And then he's also, admitted that he's putting his own money into the project. So he said like his goal was $150,000, but he is pledging $50,000 of his own money into this project, which would make the goal technically $150,000. So I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot more information than the other projects gave. And I just want to give kudos to this guy. Zeta, I think is what he said his name was. I'm sorry, I'm already blanking. He even had his card up at some point, Commander Zeta. Let me see if I can find it.
For us, it's a fusion years now, and in the past two, we have fully created the base set in the game.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So just wanted to give him kudos for that. So let's go ahead and keep going here. Nostalgix TCG is the culmination of decades of trading card game experience and passion from a talented group of artists that grew up playing the same games as you. By blending our favorite mechanics from the long, rich history of TCGs and introducing several more unique to Nostalgix, we have created a game that feels familiar yet fresh and looks amazing. In our debut 185 card base set, a worldwide event has trapped anyone or anything that falls asleep in a shared lucid world populated by characters who feel familiar. Join heroes like Vix of the Six and Dr. Corvus, and clash fighters like the powerful Booster Box Dragon, Avengaline and Gametron against each other to reclaim 10 portal counters, return these characters to their rightful homes, and restore the multiverse. So I'm assuming a lot of these cards are supposed to be like puns of characters that they technically maybe don't own the rights to. So that's kind of neat. So let's see. This is, I guess, what their stretch goals were, and all the things that are unlocked. Let's see. So why Kickstarter? Making a brand new card game takes a lot of people, a lot of time, planning, and money. Luckily, we have done the hard part already. As of this Kickstarter, our team has already put thousands of hours into creating and refining the gameplay, drawing the art, rendering the assets, producing prototypes, and playtesting the game. Nostalgic base set is fully realized and ready to print, so why Kickstarter? Printing costs big money. The best printers have minimums. We have a printing fee of $138,000 to create this game for all of you to enjoy, using one of the oldest and most experienced printing partners in the industry. I'm not sure if maybe he just couldn't say what the printing partner was. I mean, most of us aren't going to know. We're not necessarily going to be privy to that kind of information, but I'm wondering if he could have said it. Maybe it's something we could have looked up. It technically doesn't matter, but that is something I could just bring up. Pledge levels. So I'm looking at all the pledges. Looks like the first one is going to be Unlisted Agent and a Recruit. It's a weird name, but it kind of has this fantasy yet also sci-fi at the same time. Access to the Pledge Manager, Unlisted Agent Ando Elite Hero box. Contains 5 packs, 1 Day 0 stamped Unlisted Agent Ando promo card. So going down, Cluster Fox versus Divine Rule decks. Okay. So basically the first tier is a deck, or is it just a box of 5 packs? And then we got 2 starter decks. Looks like another, 2 other starter decks. 2 other starter decks. So in total, six different decks to choose from at $50 each. $100 gets you a booster box. $249 gets you all of the starter decks. Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All the starter decks and a booster box. $550 just gets you 6 booster boxes. $1,000. I mean, it just goes up and up and up, just like everybody already knows. So that's cool. It's basically like all the other projects where the more you spend, the more you get, and that makes sense. So first edition pledge levels. That's what the booster box looks like. I mean, the art looks pretty sick. It's not like that, watercolor art of MetaZoo in old school Pokemon. It's like a cross between anime, but also like, if you could say, like, realistic art. So the art looks cool. The boxes are interesting. It's kind of got like those Versus deck shapes and sizes from Magic the Gathering. So that's an interesting kind of look to it, if these are what your deck boxes look like. I'm wondering if the size is supposed to be like kind of small, or if they're supposed to be kind of rather big. Because I mean, like, for one thing too that you could definitely have a point in your favor is like the less space and cardboard you can use, to just be environmentally friendly would be nice. Because Genesis has a recycle program, and I want to say Grand Archives creators were also thinking about doing something like that. And then obviously you got Flesh and Blood doing the paper packs. So for the guy who's creating this, maybe that's something to look into. Obviously that's what your booster box case would look like. These are just, everything that you could need to know. Day 0 sold out. All cards in this batch will have a Day 0 stamp on them. Gotcha. So that's basically just indicating that these are Kickstarter cards. It'll say Day 0. It's just basically like first edition. Going on. Sold out, sold out, sold out. Day 0 booster box. So that's basically the first day. If you were pledging on first day, you got some extra goodies, just kind of like what Genesis did. Looks like they have play mats that you could add on. More stretch goals. Let's read the stretch goals. So they were at like, what was it? 900 and something thousand, 873,000. Okay, so 873,000. So their first stretch goal were funded. All backers will receive an alpha promo ship with their benefits. So it's just a promo card. Looks like you can add on a plushie. Another add-on was a playmat, some card sleeves, another promo card, another playmat. The playmat is interesting because it's got so many zones on it. Like, you can almost barely see the art. Like, imagine like a full game going on with all the cards covering it. That would be kind of crazy. You wouldn't even be able to see the art. But, based on how the game is played, maybe that won't matter. Looks like the 300,000 goal is just another promo, another plushie. $400,000, you could add a jacket. That's cool. That's actually damn cool. A jacket, and it looks like a sportsman's jacket too. That's pretty sweet. $800,000 is a graphic novel. $900,000, which they're getting close to. A metal card. with your backer number serialized on it. That's pretty dope, actually. That's really, really cool. Huh. Okay. And then if they get to 1 million, they're going to try and do a world championship, which is interesting. In 2022. The event will occur sometime between 2022 and March 2023. Yeah. You'd probably want to push that out so enough people get a grasp of your game before doing like a major championship, because like, you know, how deflating would it be? You have like a championship announced, you got prizes, but only like, you know, like 50 people show up. Like that would kind of be deflating. And then he's okay, so he also has like way more stretch goals too, which is nice. That's interesting. If he reaches 2 million, he'll get a trading card game online. I'm not a big fan of the digital trading card games front. It just kind of defeats the purpose of what a trading card game is supposed to be. So I mean, like, it's neat if he makes it there. Wouldn't make a lick of difference for most of us who like to play in person, but it might be a cool alternative, as well as just being a good way to advertise the game. Anyways, how to play video coming soon. You can download the how to play guide. Okay, I mean, it would be nice to, I guess, have a video, but he's got one coming, and then at least people have some videos playing of it. So let's take a look real quick at this video.
Set at 0. Users? No. Perfect. It's not working.
So let's just read a couple of the starter things here. Shake hands with your opponent. Okay. Place your hero face down. So okay, so you have a dedicated hero like Genesis and Flesh and Blood. That seems to be like the thing for card games in the past couple years. I don't know. I guess that's just something that I wanted to point out. Set your current and maximum mana to 0. Place 10 prize counters down like Pokemon. Shuffle your 50-card deck, allowing your opponent to cut the deck and then draw 6 cards. You may now select any number of cards from your opening hand to either shuffle back into your deck or place at the bottom of your deck in any order and draw replacements for. This is commonly known as a mulligan. You may only do this step once. So, interesting. You can actually mulligan with no consequence. That's generous. Because like in Magic, if you mulligan, you draw 1 less card. And you also don't get a choice of which cards to keep. So that's pretty generous. I'm wondering if that's maybe a rule that would potentially be changed in the future, because if they're like, say, you know, the game gets some traction, and think about it, you know, like eventually in card games, like you break it because cards come out with power that the people just didn't foresee. Now, there's going to be certain decks where, you know, you have 4 of the cards you need to basically win or do a, like, unbreakable combo. You mulligan the other 2 away, and you just draw, or you just keep trying to draw whatever you need. It's just something to think about. Number 7, when both players are satisfied with their hands, flip a coin or roll a die. To determine which players gets to decide the turn order. The player who goes second gets to keep the coin or die used to select the turn order. This now becomes a temporary mana token, which that player may remove from the game during their turn to add +1 mana to their current mana meter until end of turn, even if doing so surpasses their maximum mana. Interesting. So if you go second, you actually get a slight comeback mechanic. Okay. That's interesting. 8. Once turn order is established, flip your hero cards face up and start the game. Okay, I mean, you know, sounds easy. Let's watch some gameplay.
All right. draw 6 cards. And this is where you can mulligan. The rule with mulligans is you get 1, and you can either shuffle the card. All right, so I'm gonna draw those last 2 cards we just put in there. That is some cruel irony. Okay, I'm gonna use 1 mana.
Okay, so playing the game, draw a card, add 1 of your maximum mana meter, and then fill your current mana meter to be equal to its new maximum. Do any of the following actions in any order. You can spend mana to play or evolve fighters, a la Pokemon. Spend mana to play spells, a la Magic. Spend mana to play an arena. I'm assuming that's like a land or something like that. Spend mana to play surprises face down, trap cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! Spend mana to play equipment and attach it to a hero or a fighter. Flesh and Blood, technically Magic the Gathering as well. Use a mana token to add mana to your current mana meter. Essentially tapping mana in Magic the Gathering. Use your hero's ability once per turn by paying its mana cost. Flesh and Blood or any hero-based trading card game. Use your fighter's abilities where applicable. Attack with any fighter that does not have summoning sickness, creatures. Attack with your hero if they have any attack points gained by card effects or equipment. And then finally, you can end your turn. So let's see what the guy does. Hopefully he does it in a relatively quick amount of time. We don't want to be here all day.
Let's put our dice on our hero, make sure we have 40 health. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use 1 mana and play Payoff. This allows her hero to restore 5 health and to draw a card. She's already at max health, so nothing happens. So I'm just going to draw a card. Awesome, and then it's your turn.
Okay, I mean, that's really simple. So playmat shows how much mana you have. It looks like your maximum mana goes up per turn. So you can do many more things as the game goes on. Very much like Magic the Gathering. It's just automatic versus having to have a land to do it. I like that. It also kind of removes a little bit of the strategy from the game, but at the same time, you also got to think, that's usually been Magic the Gathering's argument or crutch is the mana system. And every trading card game is trying to kind of shake up how mana works or resources, whatever you want to call it. Every trading card game that's coming out is trying to do its own thing. So being automatic, it's not a bad thing. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the best thing either. But if it works for this game, that's fine. I'm down with it. I'd also be willing to try it. I love trading card games, as anyone who probably watches this. So it looks like you can actually play it on Tabletop Simulator now, which is pretty cool. So let's read. With the help of Owens D from our community, we now have a fully playable Nostalgix TCG mod in Tabletop Simulator, featuring all 6 starter decks, build a deck capabilities, and even digital pack openings. There really is no easier way to get learning and playing the game today. Bonus points if you're playing VR. So that's, just a quick nod to Tabletop Simulator. I love Tabletop Simulator. It's one of the best ways to play Flesh and Blood. And to have it on TTS is a really good way to get new eyes on the game. Let's go ahead and do the base set card breakdown. Nostalgix TCG base set features 11 heroes, 34 spell cards, 11 surprise cards, 10 equipment cards, 7 arena cards, 95 unique fighters. Fighters are essentially their creatures, including 26 different evolution lines, plus 17 void rare full arts and 1 golden rare lucky frog to collect. So I'm assuming this is basically your chase cards. So 17 void rare full arts, which I guess was that black card that looked shiny when he was showing it, and then obviously the golden rare lucky frog. So that's kind of cool. Obviously we got some art here. Let's see. We are putting the official hero card template out into the world for free. Work with your favorite artist to turn you into a Nostalgix hero. And that, yeah, so it's Zaba. That's the creator. Starting in December, we will be hosting a service to turn your digital hero card creations into physical cards on official cardstock through the Nostalgix Merch Arena online store. That's kind of cool. Mirror any existing hero card ability and health to keep your custom hero card tournament legal. Or get creative and play home games on a whole nother power level. So that's interesting that you can essentially mimic another card. You can have your face on the card of your favorite hero, and it's tournament legal. So that's definitely a good way to make money from it, and kind of make it a little bit more your own. I like that. Introducing Void Rarity, the secret rarity of Nostalgix TCG holds a dark secret. In base set, 6 fighters have alternate dark arts for you to collect, featuring drastically different color schemes and full card artwork. So, like we said, this is their chase cards for the set. So that's what it would look like normally. That's what it looks like when it's full art. That's pretty cool. I like the black outline to it, because I would assume, from what I remember when he showed it on the videos, this is all holographed as well. I don't know if it's cold foil, like Flesh and Blood, but I like that. And the Lucky Frog he also showed us was really cool too. The Lucky Frog is, I think, a call to Pokemons, like Shining Rarities. And then the alternate full arts are basically any TCG. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Going down, looks like we can talk about the team as well. So Zaba, founder and creative director. Now that's kind of different here. This is probably one of the sections that probably has the least amount of information. It doesn't really give them like a breakdown of maybe, where they might have worked before or previous projects they worked on. Obviously, if they haven't had any previous experiences, then they don't need to list that. But the other 2 projects just had that. It's just something that I'm pointing out. So we got Zaba, founder and creative director, V Mart, lead artist, PD Pariah, artist, Edwin San, another artist, Rush for Tacos, artist, Boa Lei, artist, Trainer Metz, artist, I Throw Trains, artist, and Swixie's artist. So lots of artists, and it looks like just one man behind the helm. So good on him doing all that work. Looks like he's got a frequently asked questions video. Okay, getting into LGSs. How am I supported? As an LGS, our first edition is the set for you. If 3 cases or less is the quantity you need, we recommend backing us on Kickstarter with the first edition case tier and using add-ons to add an additional 12 booster boxes. If you are looking for more than this, we are launching our online shop, the Nostalgix Merch Arena, in December. This will offer additional quantities of first edition product and will offer steeper discounts for local game stores that can be verified. What is MSRP for a booster box and starter decks? MSRP for our booster boxes will be $143.64, $3.99 a pack times 36 packs. So that's another thing to note. This booster box is 36 packs, like Magic the Gathering, versus 24 like Flesh and Blood. MSRP for a single starter deck is $30. It's a little, because what is it? A $50 or 50 card deck. And then I guess it has some booster packs in it. So that's not too bad. My tier doesn't say that it's day 0. Is it day 0 first edition? When a tier level is backed on Kickstarter, we are unable to change the title or description of it. We never anticipated selling out this quickly, so we added first edition to accommodate the demand. Since the solution was glued on after the fact, we have been sure to add the first edition to all the title of tiers and add-ons that are first edition. If your tier or add-on does not specifically state first edition, it is a day 0 edition. All unlisted Agent Ando boxes contain day 0 packs. All starter decks contain day 0 stamps, but also have unique numbering on the starter decks so as to differentiate starter decks from full base set cards. Okay, and then that's just payment, shipping, and they have a, okay, so they have a, what looks like a calendar showing what what they want to do, a roadmap here. Okay, so November 14th through January 1st, Kickstarter. Kickstarter charges, January 14th, January 21st. Paying the printer to get stuff rolling, January 21st to April 2nd. Waits for materials, wait time is 8 to 10 weeks. Printer buffer time. Game is received at Fulfillment Center and shipped to all backers. June 1st to June 30th. Kind of seems like what they're trying to project that they'll be able to actually ship the product to backers. So around the June timeframe, which is pretty cool. Exciting extra dates. December 2021. Dude, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So yeah, okay. I got it. So, I mean, for the most part here, this is everything you would really need to know on the project. Like I said, there's a lot more information here than the previous projects had. I really like that his video breaks down almost everything you need to know within 3 minutes. You don't need to scroll all the way down and read a whole bunch of stuff. No, his video covers it all. So, you know, that's great. I like that he was the only one who was able to do that. So, personally, the theming of the game isn't really for me. I'm not a big sci-fi fan, but I like that it's a mix of all the games we've come to know over the years. I mean, like, look at the Portal. That's just, it screams Yu-Gi-Oh! I think the only thing that I can see being a problem for him potentially is just the criticism that it's copying too many things. You know, like, some people will say, if it plays like this and plays like that, why don't I just play that game? You know, if it plays similar to Magic the Gathering, why don't I just play Magic the Gathering? If it's trying to copy Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Already exists. Or this game is just a copycat of all these other games. I can see that being his main criticism, but I'm sure he's already thought of that. So the last thing I really just want to check out before we close the video out is the website. Let's check out what the website looks like. So the Nostalgix website has, you know, all the cards, has the Kickstarter link, shows all the fighters that are coming in the base set. Vix of the Six, Nakira, Herald of the Kraken, Dr. Corvus, Balask. See, it just seems like it's an Overwatch character or something like that. Talks about Void Rarity, game-changing combos. I guess these are just like little tips and tricks. Collections. Yeah, I mean, this is the website's the same way. It's very organized. Tells you everything you need to know about the game. Has all the relevant links you need to know. Shows base set. Easy to get to. The other two websites were kinda, you know, it was buried in different links. So, in general, the project is probably the most organized out of the three that we've covered here. So, anyways, ladies and gents, that is Nostalgix. Let me know down below if you potentially plan to back this project. I might think about it. I'm already backing Grand Archive and Genesis is probably the one I am the most excited for in terms of gameplay and just collectability. But I'm not going to rule Nostalgix out. You know, I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll, you know, just buy a starter deck and see how it plays. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know down below, like I said, if you're going to be backing this project or if you're interested. And I will see you in the next video. Later, everybody.